DC-20 Sports proudly presents Washington Capitals Hockey. Tonight's game is sponsored in part by C&P Telephone Yellow Pages. No other book can match it. C&P Telephone, a Bell Atlantic company. Michelob Dry, bold taste with no aftertaste. Mick Dry refreshes completely. Amtrak's Atlantic City Express. It's how the good times roll. Providence Savings. Solid service, solid rates, and solid strength make Providence the solid choice in banking. Track Auto, the discount parts supermart. If you need it, Track's got it. Your local Volkswagen dealer. It's time to think about Volkswagen again.
Tonight, live from the Spectrum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it's the Washington Capitals and the Philadelphia Flyers here on WDCA TV 20. Good evening, everybody. Mike Forens, your play-by-play host, along with Al Koken. Caps and the Flyers in their third meeting of the season. Both previous ones were at the Capitol Center, and the Caps won one, while Philadelphia also claimed one victory. Pretty exciting game the other night between the two teams, and then the Caps ran into a late Philadelphia goal. Only 33 seconds left when the Flyers won it.
I thought, though, the Capitals had more scoring opportunities. Very typical of the way the two teams play. Keep it close, try and get the break at the end, and this time it worked for the Philadelphia Flyers.
We'll be back with tonight's opening face-off right after we pause for these messages.
The fun starts here on DC-20 with the Bullets' very important player contest. You can win an autographed NBA basketball, VIP tickets to a Bullets home game, or an autographed Bullets jersey. Tune in Wednesday night at 7:30 as the Bullets take on the world champion Detroit Pistons. There'll be two special players profiled during the game. Write down their names and send them to DC-20 Bullets VIP contest. If your correct entry is drawn, you win just by watching the Bullets versus the Pistons. Wednesday at 7:30 here on DC-20 WDCA TV.
Ads when you want them. Now, wouldn't that be a switch? Ads you get when you need them. Ads that stay where you put them. Ah! They're right where you left them, in the matchmaker. Genuine C&P Telephone Yellow Pages. Ads that match you with what you want, when you want. Now, there's a concept. The genuine C&P Telephone Yellow Pages, nor the book can match it. A Bell Atlantic company.
While others are raising prices, Volkswagen announces no price increase. In fact, we've lowered the price on our 1990 Jetta GL. So now our affordable European road car is even more affordable, with room for 5 and one of the largest trunks in its class. Jetta delivers European road car performance at a price considerably less than Toyota Camry. That's Volkswagen value. The 1990 Jetta GL. It's time to think about Volkswagen again.
Welcome back to the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Mike Forens with Al Koken. Tonight, the Capitals and the Philadelphia Flyers. Here's Andy Van Hellemond. He'll be tonight's referee. Andy Van Hellemond refereeing with Wayne Bonney and Gord Brosiker as the linesman. Bob Mason gets the call in goal for Washington. 2-2-1 in 6 games, a 3.17 average with no shutouts and 16 goals against. Jim Hribnik will back him up. And Ken Reggett goes for the Flyers. 8-7-0 in 16 games, a 2.54 average, 40 goals against, no shutouts. And the backup is Pete Peters. The Capitals get the opening draw. We're underway. And here is Dino Ciccarelli on the right wing. Double teamed right at the blue line, but manages to throw the puck into the corner. Now Kelly Miller takes it at the side of the net. Here's a walk in front and a shot blocked by the pad of Reggett in goal. Caps with early pressure here. It's dumped into the corner, and Miller throws it behind the net. Now over to Mike Ridley. Back to Kelly Miller to the side of the goal for Dino Ciccarelli. He jams up with Dave Poulin. Back in the Flyer lineup after an injury had kept him out of the last meeting. The puck thrown into the corner. Ciccarelli whacks it behind the goal, and Reggett leaves it there. And it's cleared outside the line to center ice by Chychrun. Washington still in possession of the puck. Here's Scott Stevens. Up to center ice for Kelly Miller. Dumps it back inside the Philadelphia zone, and the Capitals change up the line, and the Flyers as well, putting out new players. Here's a steal. John Druce up from Baltimore in the American Hockey League. Over to Ivan Korovo. His wrist shot, and a skate save made by Reggett in the Flyer goal. Out to center ice for Sutter. On the right wing, Mellenby cranks one up, but it goes wide of the net. Druce chases it outside the line to the blue line, and now here's Howe clearing it back inside Washington ice. Neil Sheehy out to Druce. Left wing pass. Korovo across the line. Drops it off for Hunter. Right in front for Druce, but he couldn't handle it on his backhand. And the puck is played out of the corner by Sutter. Up to center ice for Craven. He's across the blue line onside. Drop pass over to Tocchet. Fires right on. Save to Mason. Rebound thrown in front of the net. Mason scrambles, and with the help of Rod Langway, shuts the door on the Flyers. And pushing and shoving starts immediately in the aftermath as the Capitals try to protect their goaltender with a good scoring opportunity prevented by the goaltending of Bob Mason and the defensive work of Rod Langway right in the goal crease. Mark Howe standing by as the net has been moved now, and Mason is just standing behind the goal as Sheehy tries to sort things out in front along with the Flyers' Rick Tocchet. No score here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. We may have penalties coming up when we return.
Dry is bold and wet. The taste of dry is clean and refreshing. Michelob Dry, brewed longer, so taste after taste, there's just no aftertaste. Michelob Dry, bold taste with no aftertaste.
Andy Van Hellemond has not gone to the penalty time peak. Looks like nobody will be heading to the box. Good scoring opportunities for both sides to open this game. The Flyers got theirs off Rick Tocchet. Hard drive off that left wing circle. The rebound came right back out to him, and Tocchet showed pretty good quickness getting around for the good wraparound attempt. That was the way, of course, the Philadelphia Flyers scored the winning goal the other night in Landover on a wraparound. That was by Mike Bullard. This time Bob Mason sprawled down and took away the low shot.
Rob Murray out to work the faceoff now against Ron Sutter. Murray has Nick Kypreos on the left wing and Alan May on the right side. Langway back on defense with Sheehy, and the Capitals again take the draw. Kypreos, of course, a former Flyer, making his debut here in the Spectrum in a Washington uniform. Puck cleared all the way down the ice, and it's Reggett out to handle at the side of the net. Plays it up the left wing boards. Alan May chops at it, and now Murray in to try and dig it out. Throws to the corner, looks for the return. May picks it up. Alan May for Washington. Fires, it went right off the pad of Reggett in the Philadelphia goal. Tocchet comes back, sends a long shot on net, and Mason makes the glove save. Up the right wing boards. It bounces out to Wells. Now Murray picks it up on the right wing. Here's Murray across the blue line, but offside is called against Washington.
Nick Kypreos never got an opportunity to play a game for the Philadelphia Flyers. It certainly has developed some fans within the Flyer organization. There were some flowers waiting for Nick Kypreos when he got here. Played, of course, a number of years with the Hershey Bears, the Flyers' top affiliate. Bob Mason coming off a pretty strong performance in New Jersey. And it gave up that first goal in New Jersey as he put a rebound right back onto the stick of Sylvain Turgeon. But after that, robbed Mark Johnson, robbed Kirk Muller on a breakaway, and really made some critical stops for the Capitals once they developed a lead, and was quite instrumental in the road victory.
Here's Bob Rouse to start out. Poke check by Mark Howe, and Johansson picks it up to the blue line. Courtnall, left wing side to Leach. His shot goes wide of the net. Flyers come back. Eklund in the corner and steers it out to center ice. It's going to roll all the way back inside the Washington zone. Johansson's back for it, no icing. On the right wing side, it's Leach. Out to center ice to Courtnall at the blue line. Courtnall coming on the left side. Tries to get around Huffman. He's tied up on the play, and Pavanka throws it behind the net. Steve Leach back to chase it. Poked right out onto the stick of Eklund. Pelle Eklund for Philadelphia. Back from a knee injury. Left side for Sinisalo, but Philadelphia's offside on the play. 16:46 to go here in the first period. Still no score.
That'll be a choice.
We interrupt this purchase for a reminder.
Don't forget, Santa.
'Tis the season to be choosy.
That's it.
So choose the card that actually pays you cash back for every charge. The Discover card.
That's a great idea. You sure know how to pick 'em.
It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back.
Right in the middle of your screen, you see Gino Cicerelli and Craig Berube. They've been discussing the matters for the 30 seconds we've been out. Wayne Bonney keeping an eye on them. Now we'll settle in for the face-off between Acton and Ridley. Cicerelli, Ridley, and Kelly Miller starting the game for the Capitals. Bullard, Acton, and Craig Berube working this line for Paul Holmgren's Philadelphia Flyers.
Chychrun out there with Kartner on the Flyer defense, and they bring it up to center ice for Acton. He shoves it across the line, back inside the Washington zone. Scott Stevens to play it. Starts out. Ridley on the right wing to Cicerelli. Dino Cicerelli drops the pass. Hatcher carries it in, walks to the side of the net. Skates around behind the goal, and now back to the left point. Scott Stevens fans on a shot, and the Flyers take over. Here's a 2-on-1 break. Berube ahead with Acton. Berube walking in, fires, and a pad save by Mason. And the rebound cleared by Hatcher. Big play by Hatcher to clear the rebound as the Flyers 2-on-1 was ready to pounce on anything that came off Mason's pad. But they never got the chance. Icing the call here as Chychrun picks it up back inside the Philadelphia zone.
There is one way to guarantee yourself the best seats available for all Capital home games. That's by purchasing a season ticket or partial plan for any or all of the remaining games. It guarantees yourself the best available seat for great NHL action. For more information, Capital sales reps are standing by right now to answer any of your questions. Give them a call at 386-7080. That's 386-7080. Of course, Mike, it was Berube and Bullard who came down on a 2-on-1 in the climactic moments of the game the other night in Landover. This time, Berube was out there with Acton, and Kevin Hatcher let Berube shoot with Scott Stevens on that 2-on-1 the other night. Scott Stevens wanted to make sure Mike Bullard, who was the puck carrier, did not shoot the puck, so purposely let Berube open. This time, Hatcher took Acton away, forced Berube to shoot, and Bob Mason made the save.
There's a look at John Druce, who's up from Baltimore in the American Hockey League and making his Washington Capitals debut for this season. With the Skipjacks, Druce in 23 games had 14 goals, 12 assists for 26 points, and out of those 14 goals, 6 of them were on the power play for the Skipjacks.
The games I saw him in Baltimore played very well. He was on their top line, doing everything, killing penalties, working the power play. He deserved a chance to come up there, and he's being rewarded, and I think that is one of the reasons Brian Murray and David Poile wanted to make the move, to show people in the organization, if you perform, you will get your chance.
Here's a whistle. Druce is in the lineup tonight, replacing Dave Christian, who is sitting out. So is Bill Holder and Doug Wickenheiser. Scott Kleinendorsed on the injured list with a knee problem that is still unresolved after recent arthroscopic surgery, and also Don Beaupre still among the injured. I bet that's the first time that Dave Christian has ever been scratched from a hockey game in his life. He is not injured. He is just sitting out the game. That'll take him back to high school, back to Pee Wee. He's always been one of the best players on any team he's ever performed on.
Just recently played his 500th game as a member of the Capitals, had a 274-game streak going. Now you got Nick Kypreos and Rick Tocchet, with both linesmen getting in there. But, you know, as we said, bringing Druce up wants to send a message to the organization about performing well, but it also sends a message to the players on this Washington club right now. Here's a guy in David Christian, who's one of the key veterans on this team, admittedly not playing well, struggling offensively, but it's production. That's what Brian Murray and David Poile want to see at every level of the Capitals organization, and you will be rewarded if you produce and live up to your role.
Here's Craven, a shot blocked by Sheehy, and now the puck sent rink wide. Rod Langway into the skates of Rob Murray. Off Langway's skate. Cleared to the corner by Murray. Now Tocchet tries to work it out. Takes it behind the goal. Tocchet on his backhand. To the blue line, and Murray works it loose. Sends it ahead on the left side. Nick Kypreos floats a pass in front for Alan May. He shoots the shot, and a goal! through a crowd. Murray was in there, too, looking for it. And May got his stick on it and just shoved it ahead, almost like a shot off a pool cue. And the Capitals take the lead 1-0.
Watch the way Alan May gets his body in position in front of Jay Wells. Now look at Wells. You see how May cuts in front of him and screens Wells away from it and then is able to gain control of that bouncing puck. Alan May cutting in front of Jay Wells, getting in Wells' way, and in Wells' attempt to play the puck, and then puts himself in good position to get that loose puck. Excellent bit of positioning by Alan May. Shows a nice touch around the net. That is 4 goals for a guy I know a lot of people thought simply was going to be a tough guy. Alan May has certainly been tough, has filled that part of the role the Capitals want him to play, but his 4 goals have been a great bonus for Washington.
Nick Kypreos gets the assist on Alan May's 4th goal of the season. 5:31 the time here in the first period. He certainly hasn't disappointed in the tough guy role either.
No. What a great balance that is. Get a guy playing your 4th line, can check, play smart, play tough, and chip in the odd goal. Work a little bit on the power play. That's a pretty good pickup.
Mark Howe in the corner. Throws it off the boards out to center ice, and Hatcher dumps it back inside the Flyer end. 1-0. Capitals have the lead on the goal by Alan May. Up to center ice as Howe drives it wide of the net. Kypreos lets it go. Picked up by Bullard. Fakes the shot. Walks in and shoots, but Stevens is there to block it. Mike Bullard against the boards to the point. Chychrun a blast, and that's caught. And Bob Mason hangs on, and now Berube starts to push and shove with Scott Stevens right in front of the net. Drops the gloves, and Berube wants to go with Hatcher. But Wayne Bonney has them pulled apart. And there'll be penalty calls coming here with 13:28 to go in the first period. Caps have the lead over the Flyers, 1-0.
There's the drive that Bob Mason catches, holds on, and then Craig Berube coming in. Scott Stevens takes exception to it. Hatcher steps in, and both Berube and Kevin Hatcher receive 2-minute minors for roughing at 6:32.
It doesn't affect the manpower. Still a full complement of players on the ice. Here's Calle Johansson. Up the right wing board. Cicerelli works to center, and now it's handed off to Ridley, but taken over. Philadelphia's Terry Kartner backs it up for Jeff Chychrun. Caps lead 1-0. Chychrun off the boards out to center ice. Johansson finds Miller at the blue line. Now to Cicerelli in the corner. Throws it rink wide to Poulin. It comes all the way back to the point. Rouse a shot right on. And a save by Reggett. Rebound drive, and Cicerelli put that on net. Here's a backhand shot. Oh, and Reggett got in the way of that. And some pushing and shoving going on in the goal mouth. Here's a shot, a save, and a rebound cleared out of there by the Flyers. Reggett tested on 4 separate occasions on the same play. Rouse back in the corner of his own zone. Capitals were buzzing inside the Flyer zone. Let out to Cicerelli. Now to Johansson. He throws it on down back into Philadelphia ice as the Capitals want to get a line change in. Lead pass off the stick of Tocchet. All the way down, back inside the Washington zone. Here's Langway. Up the right wing boards for John Druce. Bats it ahead to Hunter. It's Corvo with a pass at the blue line. Corvo coming on with a backhand shot, and a save made by Reggett in the net. Now Jay Wells behind the goal. Up the right wing boards for Tocchet. Rick Tocchet to center ice for Philadelphia. To Murray Craven. Craven turns at the point, sets it up for Mark Howe, and his slap shot blocked. Gordon Murphy takes a wrist shot, and that's wide of the Washington goal. Back to the point again for Howe. His shot caught. And Bob Mason just hangs on and lets the crowd disperse in front of him.
Mason wanted to hold on because Neil Sheehy lost his stick, so he wanted to make sure he got this face-off. Ivan Corvo showing you a little bit of that speed, and I tell you, he's much better at kids, when they grow up, that's the way you learn how to skate. You basically go in that direction, in that clockwise or in that counterclockwise direction. And there's Ivan Corvo says he really feels more comfortable, even though he's a left-handed shot, driving off that right wing side.
Bullard set to work the draw, but the Capitals get it. Rob Murray over to Scott Stevens. Now out to center ice, and Kyprios throws it all the way down. It's juggled, a backhand shot, and a goal! Alan May with both Washington scores. He hustled in as Reggett juggled the puck, left it lying behind him, and threw it into the empty net. The Caps are up 2-0.
What kind of odds would you have gotten, as you said before, a Capital Flyer game? Alan May would have 2 goals before he had 2 fights. Here he does the job as Ken Reggett has trouble with it. Reggett, who had survived an early Capitals flurry moments ago with 4 straight shots, can't hang on to that one, and Alan May just driving in that, knocks it home for number 5 on the year, number 2 on the night, 2-0 Capitals.
Alan May, honest. They're giving Kyprios an assist. And Scott Stevens. Time of the goal, 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Here's Kartner back at center ice. Drives on into the Capital zone. Scott Stevens to the corner. Lets it clear to the point. And Chychrun keeps it in. Now Rob Murray pokes it loose on the right wing out to center. Taken over by Sinisalo. Throws it on into the Washington zone. Scott Stevens back to get it. Stevens up to center. Lofts a pass back into the corner. Play is called. They'll bring the faceoff back inside the Washington zone on the icing call. Shot and a goal! Kelly Miller!
There is no substitute for extra effort. For the Caps, extra effort means solid results. And solid results are yours at Northern Virginia's Solid Savings Bank, Providence Savings. Providence offers free checking, ATMs that pay you, 6 different CDs, 5 money market plans, and over 40 home and construction loans. That's extra effort in banking. Providence Savings has 10 offices. Stop in today and let their extra effort give you a solid financial future. Providence Savings, your solid choice.
Play underway behind the Washington goal. Michael Pavanka tries to dig it out. And Poulin throws it into the corner. Here's Mellenby back after it. Centers right in front. Mason with a sparkling glove save. Scoops it up to Rob Poulin.
Michael Pavanka had a little piece of Dave Poulin, but Bob Mason had to come up strong with the glove hand. Well, be sure to be with WDCA Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock for part 2 of the Capitals' trip to Russia. This will be covering their trip to Leningrad and to Riga. That's Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m., and it precedes the Capitals-Bruin game. That'll be right there at 1:30. You can see it all here on WDCA TV 20.
Langway takes the face-off back of the goal and now clears it up the boards to center ice. Chychrun's there to get it. Winds up and slaps it into Washington territory. Here's Sheehy. Pokes it ahead for Steve Leach. Derek Smith bats it into the corner. Now back to Kartner, a backhand shot. Right on, Mason with a pad save. Cleared up the boards for Langway. Gives it over to Sheehy. He leads to Pavanka at the blue line. Skates to center. Inside the Flyer zone and sandwiched at the line. Slap shot by Courtnall, tipped wide of the net. Another hit, this one from Derek Smith in the corner as he bumps Steve Leach. Mellenby to center. Stopped at the line by Kevin Hatcher. Here's Hatcher, left wing side. Stevens to center ice. Now to Kelly Miller. Miller back to Scott Stevens inside the Flyer zone. Tied up at the blue line, and Tocchet takes over and clears it all the way back into the Washington end. A race for it, but Hatcher's there first and circles the net to try and elude Craven. Sent out to Miller. Back to Hatcher. Up to center ice. Hatcher across the line with a slap shot wide of the goal. Cicerelli on the left wing. Jumps out of the way of Sutter, but still is pinned. Now Kelly Miller. Works it free to Ridley. Back to the point for Stevens. Into Cicerelli in the corner. He centers it. Ridley a shot. tipped wide by Reagan. Miller sweeps it loose to Ridley, right in front of the net. And the Flyers come back on the attack. Long lead pass, too far for Tocchet. Chased into the corner by Hatcher and sent just wide of the Washington net. Howe behind the goal. To Ron Sutter. Tries to center. And he sneaks it past Mason's pad. The Flyers are on the board. It's 2-1.
So typical of this Philadelphia team, the Capitals with a ton of goal and scoring opportunities. But the Flyers score the type of goal that they always seem to get in. A bang off the side of the net, a deflection, scramble in front. You harken back to the playoffs last year when a centering pass carried off Pete Peters. Here's Ron Sutter doing the work. Bob Mason doesn't have everything closed off. And despite being outplayed by the Washington Capitals, this is just a 2-1 game with 8:19 left in the first period.
How do you suppose Pete Peters felt seeing that happen to Mason at the same end of the ice?
Well, you know, I tell you, people don't remember that a year before that. Remember the final game of the regular season the year before when Gary Galley scored a goal exactly like the one Tocchet scored. This was when off Ron Hextall. That started the Capitals on a comeback. They ended up with a 2-2 tie, ended up getting second place, ended up beating the Flyers. And now here comes Alan May getting into his first fight with Tony Horacek.
May finally grabs on, and Horacek lets go with a right hand, and the linesmen get in there quickly. It always seems like when they square off and try to act like boxers, you see the least amount of fighting.
Exactly.
They head to the penalty boxes, and we'll be right back after this.
Amtrak is the better way to Atlantic City. Special bonuses add to the fun. Daily service. Call your travel agent or call Amtrak at 1-800-USA-RAIL.
Bye-bye, old boy.
Got Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard coming up Thursday. Tonight we give you Horacek and May. Once they finally do get together, they'll land some pretty solid blows. May getting Horacek down, the linesman quickly jumping in because Horacek and guys without the helmet, that's where the danger comes when you hit the ice. Giving them both 5-minute majors for fighting at 11:44.
Nobody hurt anybody there.
Kelly Johansson headed to the Capitals dressing room. I don't see Capital medical trainer Stan Wong on the Capitals bench, so we'll keep you updated.
Here's a shot wide of the Washington goal, cleared to the point. Howe keeps it in. Howe along the sideboards, and Murray works it free to Steve Leach. Acton to Berube. And played back to center ice. The Flyers dump it back into the Washington zone. 2-1 the score. Capitals have the lead. Philadelphia's Ron Sutter putting the Flyers on the scoreboard after Alan May had scored the first 2 goals of the game for Washington. Here's Kartner. Long lead pass out to center ice. Scott Stevens takes the puck, clears to the blue line of Philadelphia. Off the sideboards, and Hunter steals and dumps it on into the Flyer end. Here's Chychrun playing up the right wing boards to the point, and Sheehy got tied up right in front of the bench with Huffman, but now play continues. Here's a slap shot blocked. Stevens lies on top of it long enough to draw a whistle. Now Chychrun gets in there and starts to push and shove.
He was after Sheehy.
And isn't this typical of the type of thing you see happen in the Spectrum when an opposing team goes in the lead?
Well, it's one of the ways the Flyers get back up into a game emotionally. They're always been known as a tough physical team. They always want to try and intimidate the opposition, particularly in this building. The Capitals, of course, have added so many players that it really doesn't seem to be a factor anymore in terms of trying to get intimidated, so it makes for longer games.
Tocchet, all set to go on the right wing side. 13 goals, 17 assists, and 30 points on the season. And so far, 55 minutes in penalties for Tocchet. Here's Cicerelli out to center ice. On the right wing side. Wrist shot goes wide of the net. Tocchet jammed up into the corner. At the blue line, Langway forces Chychrun to try and dump it in, and now it's taken behind the net by Sheehy. Neil Sheehy skates to center. Sends it across the line, back inside the Philadelphia zone. Reggett clears up the glass. And out to Ilka Sinisalo. Long lead pass to center ice for Tocchet. To Eklund. Kelly Eklund across the line with Kartner. Slap shot blocked. Chased by Sinisalo to the point. Gordon Murphy's drive off the skate of Kelly Miller. And Kelly Miller sends it all the way back into the Flyers zone. Both teams change up the lines. And Murphy fires it into the Washington end. Here's Poulin to the corner after it. Now Leach throws it out to center ice. Jay Wells flips it over the glass and into the first row of seats for a souvenir. 5:56 to go in the first period. Caps lead the Flyers 2-1.
My son Jeff, skateboard fanatic, music lover, guitarist, computer whiz, avid cyclist, football, basketball, hockey player, and all-star catcher. But there is one thing he'll drop everything for. Campbell's Chunky Soup. He loves it. Chunky has delicious chunks of vegetables and meat. And best of all, it's quick to satisfy. So Jeff can keep going without slowing down.
Campbell's Chunky Soup. The satisfying stuff that keeps you going.
5:56 left to play in this first period. 2 Alan May goals and a Ron Sutter goal gives us a 2-1 Washington lead.
Mellenby back to the point. A slap shot blocked by the skate of Pavanka. Leach leads it out to center for Courtnall. His long drive goes wide of the Flyer net. Capitals leading 2-1. And now a whistle as Wells starts to push and shove over there with Courtnall. And there's going to be a penalty call coming out of this. Wells is headed to the box. Let's see if Courtnall goes off too. Looks like just Jay Wells of Philadelphia.
Well, the Capitals have a great December schedule. On December 12th, they take on the Soviet team Kimmich at 7:35 p.m. All fans receive a friendship team poster courtesy of Safeway and Capital Cadillac. On December 15th, the Islanders will face off against the Caps. That's an 8:05 start. All fans that night receive a Patrick Division Championship lapel pin. And on the 23rd, the Rangers will face the Caps at 7:35 p.m. There are plenty of tickets available at all Hex ticket centers, or call phone charge at area code 202-432-0200. Operators are on duty until 10 p.m. You know that the Kimmich team that's the Capitals will play right now, leading the Soviet Elite League by a wide margin, and supplanted the Soviet Central Red Army team, which of course lost all their key players here to the National Hockey League. So they are the best of the Soviets touring the United States and Canada. You can come out and see them. And the Circuit City Power Play, first contested tonight, David Oliver, Columbia, Maryland. David, we chose Dave Christian as the Caps player to score. We'll have to assign you somebody else. Dino Cicerelli's out on the ice. How about Dino? Right winger as well. If Dino scores, David, you receive a video or a stereo unit courtesy of Circuit City.
Cicerelli has 2 power play goals on the season, and here is Ridley into the corner. Back to the point for Hatcher. Caps on the power play, 17th in the league at 18%. Flyers killing penalties 82% of the time. That's 6th in the league. Wells off the ice for elbowing at 14:22. Setting up Washington's man advantage. Stevens over to Hatcher. Plays it on the left wing side for Michael Pavanka. At the blue line, it's stolen and cleared by Gord Murphy. Back on the point with Scott Stevens. Up front, Pavanka with Leach. And Hunter now. Hunter into the corner. Pavanka behind the net. Looks for Leach in front. Passes to Hatcher. A wrist shot. A save by Reggett. The rebound poked loose to the corner. Tocchet ties up with Pavanka. Kartner tries to get it. Now it's back to Hatcher. Off the skate of Tocchet to center ice, and Pavanka takes charge. Right side for Leach. Out to center. Bunka drives it across the line, back inside the Philadelphia zone. Off the shoulder of Leach into the corner. Steve Leach has the puck. Throws it behind the net. He's knocked into the net. Leach given a shot right in front as he tries to get up. Here's a centering pass. A wrist shot by Stevens. A save by Regan, and the rebound covered. Acted in there in a hurry to make sure that Hunter doesn't get any closer, and Calle Johansson is now back on the Washington bench.
And our bats will get right out there on the power play. Stephen Leach just drives towards the front of the net. Once he dishes it off, Parkner knocks him over, and then Chychrun makes sure he stays down. I thought Chychrun played that pretty well. He's definitely giving Leach the stick, but no real exaggerated cross-checking motion. You know, once he had him down, he continued to shove, but didn't really wind up and cross-check him, which I think would have gotten something more from Andy Van Hellemond. But once Leach was down there, Chychrun did a pretty good job of making sure he never really was back in a comfortable scoring position.
Kartner back to the bench. Courtnall out now to center Corriveau and Kyprios. Langway and Rouse on the points. Flyers get the draw, and here's Mark Howe to backhand it up the glass. At the point, Langway on the fly, fires, Reggett the save, and he dives to cover up.
Rod Langway gets a nice quick shot on goal. Ivan Corriveau was out there. Got a little piece of it in front. Ken Reggett, other than that early flurry, Mike, where the Capitals had 4 quick scoring opportunities, the Flyer people tell me that they have not seen a goaltender in quite a while handle his rebounds and control them any better than Ken Reggett. One of the keys, they say, he just lets the puck play him. He doesn't really go after it, kick out, do anything dramatic with it. Just softens his body and does not let that puck hit him hard and bounce far in front of him. Keeps it about a foot to 18 inches in front of him.
Good hit by Corriveau on Mark Howe, and here comes Murphy. Fires, and a pad save by Mason. Tied up in the corner. Sutter has it knocked away by Rice, or by Rouse, rather. Rob Murray chasing back into the Flyer zone. Kartner flips out to center, and it goes all the way on inside the Washington end. Kyprios back to get it, icing the call with 3:11 to play here in the first period. There's a break in the action. The score, Capitals 2, Flyers 1.
Read any good books lately? They used to say this one had a lot of characters, but not much plot. No more. This is the Great American Guidebook, The Matchmaker, the C&P Telephone Yellow Pages. Want to read a classic? Take it in your hands and open it. When you see all the new goodies in here, you'll be surprised. So get it off the top of the refrigerator and do a little light reading. The genuine C&P Telephone Yellow Pages. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic company.
Well, we assigned David Oliver Dino Ciccarelli. Dino didn't get to score on the power play, so David, you receive 4 tickets to a future Capitals home game. If you'd like to enter our Circuit City Power Play contest, stop by any Circuit City store and fill out an entry form, or send your name, address, and phone number on a postcard along with the name of the player you think will score on the power play to Circuit City Power Play Contest, Capitol Center, Landover, Maryland 20785.
Face off to the left of goalkeeper Ken Reggett. Paul Straw. Hunter kicked out of there, and this time it'll be John Druce in to work the face-off against Mike Bullard. Here's Courtnall from the draw, fires, and it's deflected up off the glass. Now Eklund to Bullard. Across the line to Sinisalo. He's bumped by Kevin Hatcher. The puck played to center ice, and here's Hunter dumping it across the line back inside the Philadelphia zone. Reggett throws it off the backboards, and into the corner is Dale Hunter. Play to the point, and Bullard starts back on the left-hand side. On into the Washington zone. Now Scott Stevens to get it. Stevens works to center. Over to Hunter. Hunter across the blue line. Drop pass for John Druce. A slap shot right on, and Reggett makes the save. He stopped that one right between the pads, but kept them together. And the faceoff will again be to his left. It turned into a scoring opportunity here because of the drop pass by Hunter, who stays to the right a little bit. It turns out to be a Flyer player who really creates a little interference there in terms of the vision of goaltender Ken Regan. But the drive by Bruce right to the middle of the pads. This time it's Mike Ridley to work the draw against Bullard. Or make it Poulin, and Poulin wins the faceoff. Over to Wells. Now Poulin works it free to Acton, back out to center ice. Rouse dumps it across the line and on into the Flyer zone. 2-1, Capitals have the lead. 2:12 to go here in the first period. Hope you'll stay with us at our first intermission. Al Koken's guest will be Alan May of the Washington Capitals. May with both Caps goals here in this contest. Bob Rouse out to center. And Gord Murphy backs up to his own line, now to Poulin. He shifts it to center ice. Left side, Derek Smith on into the corner. Calle Johansson back to take it. Now to Rouse. To Ridley at center ice. Poulin took a run at him from halfway across the ice. Long slap shot. Caught by Mason and left for Langway. Sutter works it free from Langway's stick. Tries to center. And it goes off the skate blade of Mason to the corner. Now a penalty call coming. Sheehy knocks Mellanby down, and Mellanby fires, and Mason makes the save. Mellanby into the corner, back to the point. Flyers put a sixth attacker out there. And the puck cleared out of the zone to center ice. Mark Howe chasing after it. Delayed penalty call coming against Washington. We're in the final minute of play in the period. Here's Howe. Up to Craven. Craven across the blue line. Chopped by Sheehy. The puck to the corner. And Langway's there. And as he touches it, there's the whistle to stop play. At the 19:11 mark of the period, Mellanby and Sheehy continue their discussion from earlier. And it's going to be Sheehy headed to the box. Holding is the call at 19:11. Well, that's going to present the first power play opportunity for Philadelphia. And the Flyers are 12th in the league at 21% when they have the extra man. While the Capitals, in killing penalties, 4th in the National Hockey League at 84%. That 2-minute minor gives Sheehy 100 penalty minutes on the season. Here's Sutter with that wraparound on the backhand. He turns, and that's a very good angle to shoot from, as opposed to the one right at the side of the net. A lot of skates, though, in front, and one of them made the difference in keeping it from going into the goal. He ran the risk of running into more traffic, but his angle was certainly better. Right away, the Caps get the Flyer power play out of the zone, and it's cleared back to the Philadelphia line. Mark Howe. Up to center ice. Throws it on into the Washington zone, and Rob Murray winds up and slaps it back to the point. Howe keeps it in. Over to Bullard, to Huffman. His wrist shot blocked by Stevens. Into the corner for Tocchet. Broken up by Kevin Hatcher. Back to Mike Bullard. Hatcher steals and takes it behind the net. Winds up, clears off the boards. At the point is Howe. To Tocchet. Fire! To the top of the slot, and Tocchet brought it down with his glove, fires a slap shot, and like a rifle picks the top corner of the net. The game is tied. No hesitation. He just put it down and fired, pulled the trigger. 2-2 score. It's a power play goal for Philadelphia. Mark Howe with the lone assist at 19:49. For Tocchet, that's his 14th goal of the year. Murray to center ice, dumps it in. That'll take care of the rest of the clock, and the first period draws to a close. Pushing and shoving in the corner now as Berube comes in. Nick Kypreos steps in there and is grabbed by Chychrun. Now Bob Rouse giving a push. He and Berube start a heated discussion, and the linesmen now direct their attentions to them. Now they go over and try and get between Chychrun and Kypreos. Shots on goal in the first period for Washington, 17. And for Philadelphia, also 17 shots on goal. Alan May with a pair of goals for the Caps, Sutter and Tocchet for the Flyers, and we've completed 20 minutes of play here at the Spectrum. More hockey coverage when we return after these messages right here on WDCA TV 20.